10 things I wish I knew before I started selling books on Amazon FBA. What's going on, everybody? Steve here, Rake and Profit over at rakeandprofit.com, coming back to you with another live video. I'm in the parking lot in my car, just left a library sale, probably made about $100. There really wasn't a ton of books at this library sale, but I was sitting in the car reading some of you guys' comments and been getting a lot of questions lately about starting an Amazon book business, how to sell books on Amazon FBA, and I wanted to create a video sharing with you guys 10 of the top things that I wish I knew before I started selling on Amazon FBA. And to go even a step further, to be 100% transparent, some of these things are things that I did know, like people told me, I watched in videos, but I was stubborn, I didn't do it, I didn't feel like learning, so on and so forth. But these are 10 mistakes, 10 things I wish I knew. So if you're thinking about, or you're already selling or starting or considering to start an Amazon book business, you're gonna want to listen up very closely in this video. I'm gonna smash and blaze through all this content really quick, so make sure you're taking notes. Number one, big mistake. Make sure you get yourself a wireless Bluetooth scanner, okay? There's a whole bunch of different ones out there. There's the KDC, there's the Natamoo that I use, there's the Opticon 2002, I think is the one that I used to have. This one's like 50 or 60 bucks right here. Get yourself a Bluetooth scanner, okay? When you use your phone, it takes 5 to 10 times longer to scan an item versus having yourself a Bluetooth scanner. So that's something that you hold in one hand, you put the phone up in another hand, and you scan it, and it just goes through super quick. Instead of using your camera, you're using a laser, and you just go through that many more books. The more books you can scan through, the more opportunities you're gonna have, the more profitable books you're gonna find. It's the same thing with listing or sending out shipments on Amazon or eBay. The more you list, the more you're gonna make on eBay. The more you ship out to Amazon, the more money you're gonna make. So that's number one, get yourself a scanner. Number two, make sure to go to library sales. Thrift stores are amazing. I love Savers. I love Goodwill. I love the Salvation Army. I like stopping by consignment stores, dropping by pawn shops and checking out Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. Great opportunities to find books. But if you want to scale your book business, one of the best opportunities to find a mass amount of books on a consistent basis is going to library sales. Check out the website booksalefinder.com, or give your local libraries a call, because not all library sales are going to be advertised on booksalefinder.com. So, you know, find 5 or 10 libraries in your area and call them up and say, hey, how you doing? I'm Steve, just calling to see if you guys sell books or you have any library sales at this library. And a lot of times they will. Like, for example, the other day, there was a $5 fill-a-bag sale. I just saw a sign. It wasn't advertised anywhere. I just kept my eyes open. Today, I was making some phone calls, found a couple libraries that are having sales as well that aren't advertised. You'll be able to get a lot of books. They're cheap, and it's just a great way to be able to build your inventory. The more inventory you have of profitable books available for sale, the more money you're going to make. So number one, get yourself a Bluetooth scanner. Number two, go to library sales. Number three, get yourself an advanced listing software. So when you're selling books on Amazon, when you're first getting started, you're typically going to be listing directly through Amazon Seller Central. Very inefficient, very ineffective, and it'll take you a lot longer to do what you're trying to do, which is get your book shipped out to Amazon. Look into some third-party listing softwares. I use AccelerList, AccelerList, or Inventory Lab is another good one. I recommend AccelerList. It's quicker, it's faster, it gives you more information. You can see, like, from a bird's eye view right then and there, like, get a perfect glimpse at how much profit you're gonna make from that batch, from that shipment, what's your average sales rank, so on and so forth. And there's some bookkeeping benefits as well. Check out AccelerList. Number four, get yourself an advanced scanning tool. You can start off by scanning with Amazon Seller app, which is 100% free. All you have to do is go to your app store, download it, right? But it's slow, and it's not going to give you as much data as something like Scout IQ will give you. Scout IQ is a third-party software created by my friend Caleb Roth. Great software, gives you a bunch of information, a bunch of data. It's fast, it's quick. It's much more effective than the Amazon Seller app. Now, the Amazon Seller app is going to be a little more accurate just because when you use any third-party softwares, you're having to link through their API, and they only give you like the first 15 prices. So I like to double check on the Amazon Seller app, but for the most part, it's gonna be great. Plus, another benefit of using something like Scout IQ is you can tap into something called database mode. So what you can do is you can download the Amazon database prior to going to the library sale and say there's no internet at the library sale. Everyone's gonna be screwed but you, because you've downloaded the database. It's automatically on your phone. You don't even need internet. And now you can scan and you'll have prices, you know, somewhat updated prices without the internet, and it's faster, it's quicker, you get through more books, and you make more money. So number one, get yourself a Bluetooth scanner. Number two, start going to library sales. Number three, get yourself some advanced listing software. I recommend AccelerList or Inventory Lab. Number four, get yourself some advanced scanning equipment, right, in terms of software, Scout IQ. Number five, this is a big thing, and this has to do with number four, but I want to make it its own little section. Triggers. Do you guys know what triggers are? So Scout IQ has something that's called triggers, and essentially what triggers are rules that are automatically set up to give you an instant buying decision. So for example, you can set rules in your scanning app to say any book that makes a $4 profit after fees within a rank of 100 to 5,000, I'm automatically gonna buy. Any book that makes at least $8 profit and is ranked between 1 million and 3 million and has this certain criteria, automatically buy. What I like to do is put in some Apple AirPod headphones into my ears, and I link that up via Bluetooth. So I've got my Bluetooth AirPods in for sound, and I've got my Bluetooth scanner, and when I'm scanning, I don't even have the phone. I'm not even looking at my phone, guys. This is so cool. I've got Scout IQ up on my phone, phone's in my pocket, and I'm scanning the books. And when it's a good book, it'll make a ding, like a little nice little pleasant sound in my ear, and I know to put it aside. And if it's a reject, which means it's not fitting the criteria that I'm looking for, it goes like beep, it's like a reject. So you can quickly fly through all the books. So that's really cool. Scout IQ has triggers, rules automatically set up to allow you to move so much quicker. Again, when you're finished, you want to go through, double check things, make sure everything is looking good, it's the right cover, so on and so forth, because these things aren't perfect. But triggers are huge. I wish I knew about triggers. Number six, sell your books via Amazon FBA versus being a merchant seller. So a merchant seller is similar to selling on eBay. You buy an item, you list it, you store it at the house or wherever you are, your warehouse, and when it sells, you pick it, pack it, ship it, fulfill it, and you deal with customer service. You don't want to be doing that for the most part for most people when you're selling books. You want to exploit the Amazon FBA program. FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. What that is when you buy the books, you list them, you put them all in a box or multiple boxes, and you ship them off to Amazon. Amazon has warehouses where they'll let you store your items, and then when it sells, they'll fulfill it. They'll pick it, they'll pack it, they'll ship it, and they'll even deal with customer service and returns. So you don't even have to deal with any of that. You're outsourcing all of that to Amazon. Now the fees are a little bit higher, but what's amazing is customers are actually willing to pay more money to buy through the Prime program for the free shipping, so on and so forth, and it kind of evens it out. I actually find that I make more money selling through FBA versus being a merchant seller, but the big benefit is freeing up my time from having to pick, pack, store, inventory, all that, and focus it on what makes my business money, which is building relationships, sourcing, and shipping to Amazon. So that's really big right there. Okay, number seven, who cares what other people think? I wish I knew this when I first got started. You guys will not believe how big of a little chicken I was. My mother and I, we were little chickens at the thrift store. Let me know if I'm the only weirdo who did this, but when I first got started, maybe about 5 years ago, I'm being so transparent here. When I was at the thrift store scanning, if there was like a customer next to me or there was like an employee that walked by at Savers or Goodwill, I would like hide my phone. I didn't want anybody to know what I was doing. Like I felt like I was doing something wrong. I was scared. I didn't want people to ask questions. My mom and I, we used to play scenarios. This is how weird the Rakin family is. My mom would be like, Steven, what are you gonna do if an employee says, hey, what are you doing scanning? Are you selling books? We would play little scenarios out because we were so worried what other people thought. It's so weird. Like, now it's like I can't even imagine or fathom the fact of doing that because I'm just so bold now and I'm hungry and it doesn't matter and there's all these other people doing it and I watch other YouTubers and you guys and it's like we're all supportive of each other. But I used to be so scared. Don't worry about what other people think. When people are looking at you scanning, so on and so forth, like Jill says, nobody really cares. Most people are just curious. They're just curious. What are you doing? Are you an employee here? A lot of times people think I'm working there. They think I'm like scanning an inventory. Who cares what other people think? Be a lion, be a tiger, go out there, get it. Don't worry what other people are thinking. And if there's competitors scanning as well, go in there and get your slice of the pie. Don't worry if there's a competitor there. I like to kind of give people their space, and I'm not going to go straight up next to a competitor and just start drilling into where they are. I've got some respect for, you know, my colleagues and my competitors. But at a library sale, it really doesn't matter. Go in there, crush it. Don't worry what other people think. Number 8, this is a big one. I wish I knew, and I just learned this from Romer the Roamer. Big shout out to Avery. Ask for back room access. I didn't know you could do this. I knew that you could build relationships with the employees, and sometimes they'd bring something out for you, but I didn't know that you could actually walk into a thrift store, and I saw Romer do this, absolutely amazing. You approach an employee and you say, hey, I am a bulk bookseller or something along those lines, or I'm a reseller. Is there any way that I can get access to the back room? Do you guys have any extra books? Can I go back there and scan? And believe it or not, they're not all gonna let you. There are probably some policies at certain places where they don't let customers in the back room, but you can get access into the back room. And to kind of, I guess, make this overarching, just build relationships, talk to the employees, make friends with them because they'll bring items out for you, books for you, products. They'll let you know about deals and opportunities that the average person wouldn't get the chance to have. So that's a big one right there. So to kind of recap, we got 2 more. Number 1, get yourself a Bluetooth scanner. Number 2, visit library sales. Number 3, get yourself some advanced listing software. Number 4, get yourself some advanced scanning software like Scout IQ. Number 5, triggers are huge. Number 6, FBA all day. Okay, that's what I got to say. Number 7, who cares what others think when you're scanning? Number 8, ask for backroom access. Number 9, I wish I knew about eFlip. Do you guys and gals know what eFlip is? eFlip is a software that my good buddy who actually created Scout IQ made, eFlip, Caleb Roth, and it's a software that actually allows you to source books, undervalued books, on Amazon from merchants to resell back on Amazon through the FBA program because there's an arbitrage, there's an opportunity, there's a spread there. And if you guys are familiar with the website Keepa, Keepa is a it's a service, or I guess it's just a website that shares charts, shares sales history of products, sales velocity, and a lot of times books. For example, like this book right here, it's selling for like 15 or 16 bucks right now. I guarantee you in like August, September, it probably shoots up to like 30 or 40 bucks, right? So certain books trend certain periods of the year, right? So you can buy books now based on trends and technical analysis using a software like, or a website like Keepa, but you could even scale it and filter through those opportunities much quicker using a software called eFlip. So check out eFlip, rakeandprofit.com/eFlip. They got a free 14-day, I don't know, trial or whatever. Check that out, but I wish I knew about that because you can literally source books from home. I remember like I'm in Connecticut, snowy days, and I wouldn't go out sourcing, and I had money to spend, but I didn't want to leave because my car sucked, and I was broke, and whatever, blah, 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 4 or 5 years ago, probably longer than that. But I could have been at home just sourcing if I used eFlip or I used some software like that, so that's huge. And last but not least, one of the things that I wish I would have known before I started selling books or when I was first getting started is don't avoid high-ranked books. You hear some people say, only buy books under $1 million, which isn't bad advice when you're first getting started, but there's so many opportunities in books that are 2 million, 3 million, 2.5 million. Now, these are called long tail books. A lot of times these books might sit for 2, 3, 4, 5 months, but think of this. Imagine you spent $1 on 100 books. All of these books were 3 million rank plus. So that's $100 and you have 100 books. Let's just say that you're gonna buy these books because even though they're gonna take a long time to sell, or they may never sell, they're gonna make at least a $20 minimum profit. All you would have to do is sell 5 of those books to make your money back, right? Only 5 of those long tail books. And again, they're not all guaranteed to sell, but only 5 of those books, 5% of those books, you got your money back. Now you have 95 items in inventory. Now, Some of those are gonna incur some storage fees. Some may never sell. You might have to trash a couple of them. But just imagine if you sold 15 or 20% of them. You double, triple your money like that. Long tail books are great. You don't have to buy every single book assuming it's gonna sell. A lot of people ask me, you know, how long does it take for your books to sell? It really depends. Most of my books sell within the first couple of months. Some might take 3 to 6 months. A small percent, probably 10% or less, might get destroyed in price and may never make a profit, or I might have to destroy it, or it gets damaged, or something happens, right? And I just get rid of it. But still, right? If you could succeed in 60, 70, 80% of your books, you're going to be a champion. You're going to be golden. You don't have to be, you know, 100% perfect when you're selling books. So these are the 10 things that I wish I knew when I first got started. Another thing that I wish, a little bonus tip right here, I wish people told me to, you know, not avoid the books that are missing a barcode. If the book doesn't have a barcode, opportunity. Why? Because most scanners aren't going to take the time to type in the ISBN number. Most scanners aren't going to take the time to switch out from FBA Scan or Scout Lee, whatever it's called now, or Scout IQ, over to Amazon Seller app to use that proprietary picture to be able to look up the book that way, right? Or they're not going to flip to the second page and scan that and get the book. They're not going to take the time. I wish I knew the opportunity in books that are missing a barcode. So if you guys enjoyed this video and you found value, do me a big favor and smash that like button, guys. We got 94 people in the house. I'm going to answer some questions, but let's see how many likes we get right now. Show the love. CSAN is asking AccelerList or Inventory Lab. I used to use Inventory Lab. I switched to AccelerList. I find AccelerList much less buggy, quicker, more efficient, and the creators behind it I'm good friends with. And I actually spoke at one of the conferences recently at Turn the Page conference, and just a great community over there. So I definitely recommend it. All right, guys, ask some questions. Let me look through. I'm going to a book sale tomorrow, and there's going to be 500,000 books. Holy crap! How do I choose which books to scan? Apparently, people are going to start waiting at 5 a.m. in the morning. So, Selena, congratulations going to your first book sale. I'll be going to a book sale tomorrow as well. Where do you want to start? I would probably, obviously, stay away from fiction. So there's going to be a lot of fiction, and then there's going to be nonfiction. Stick to the nonfiction area. Textbooks are always like the number one areas that I like to focus on. So I don't have a ton of experience with library sales. I just been starting to go to them again. I wish, like, that's why I made this video. I wish I went to more library sales. I've been going to them over the last couple of months, and they've just been jackpots. But I like to focus on the textbook area, anything to do with like teaching or how to. And then I like to look for kind of like weird, unique books, right? I just left a book sale now, and you know, I got books on creating whimsical characters from one of nature's most unique woods. It's like a wood building book. This is carving, right? This is freaking painting shorebird decoys, like really weird books, like something to do with like learning about horseback riding or something very niche, something weird, something awkward. And I try to stay away from like the mass-produced books, like the books that I know, the books that are like super popular. Like if I'm looking for the books that just kind of stand out, like Exercise in Your 80s or something weird. I was actually thinking about creating maybe like a free ebook for you guys, sharing like maybe 50 or 100 niches that I focus on. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that. It would be 100% free, but I feel like a lot of like the biggest struggle is people don't know what to scan because sometimes it's overwhelming. There are a good like 50 or 100 niches that I like to focus on, but it's not like I'm like looking for them. It's more or less like I'm aware. Like when I see them, like I'm aware of it. I wish I'd give you guys some more examples. It's kind of hard to explain, but I think I'm going to put something together for you guys like that. But stay away from the fiction. Go after the unique, the obscure, the weird, the odd-looking books. A lot of this just takes experience. Like, start going out to thrift stores and stuff and scanning, and you'll like after doing that 5 or 10 times, you're going to start to get a good feel for what you need to focus on. It's just really hard to put into words. I wouldn't recommend like your first sourcing trip being like a massive library sale because you're going to get so overwhelmed by just like the competition, and things are going to be moving so quick and people are going to be running around like crazy. Like I would probably have a panic attack. So I wouldn't recommend, Selena, I believe that's your name. Hopefully I'm not destroying it. I'd recommend starting with thrift stores, a little more peaceful environment, right? But yeah, 500,000 books, that's going to be really exciting. Let's see. Steve, thank you for the info, brother. What are some good expectation profit-wise with books? Example, 1,000 books listed, bringing on average X amount of profit after fees. I know it's a loaded question. It really depends. Like, I try to focus on at least a minimum of a $5 profit, right? So in terms of like profit margins, a lot of booksellers, when they're first getting started, the margins are like 50 to 80%, sometimes even 100%. But as you start to scale and you start to get into longer tail books and you start to kind of lower your standards a little bit, like when you first get started, you're like going after like $20 profit books and then 15, then 10, then you're taking like $4 profits. Your margins start to go down, your fees go up, your long-term storage fees go up. You start to purchase various pieces of equipment and softwares, and you upgrade from the free Amazon account to the pro account. So your profit margins start to slowly come down, and they could be anywhere between 20 to 50%. For most people here who start to scale over 300, 400, 500 items, probably looking around a 30 to 40 to 50% margin. Once you get a warehouse and stuff, your margins are really going to start to go down more towards like the 20 to 30% mark. It just depends on your sourcing strategies. So hopefully that answered your question. Karen says, if you pick up textbooks in May and they're showing a decent profit, do you list them now or you hold onto them until August? I mostly just list them now. I know people who are using like eFlip and they're holding on to their books if they have a warehouse or if they have space. It really depends. The thing about holding on to a book is there's no guarantee that the price you see on Keepa, again, which is a chart that shows you like previous sales history and prices, there's no guarantee that you're going to hit that same price again. Because a lot of times with textbooks, there are maybe like an influx of sellers. So maybe like 400 books come onto the market, like a school like sells them out or something, and now that drives the price down. Or there's like a new edition that comes out, so then there's less demand, so the price goes down. So a lot of times if there's like a good margin, like if I'm buying a book for $2 and it's selling for like 60 now, but maybe I can get 90 in 3 months, I'll take my profit now, because I would rather have that cash back. And I'd rather take my profit and reinvest it as well. So that's kind of my mindset on that. Life of Eggy, what's going on? I know, I've been trying to have a Connecticut thrifting meetup. I've just been so busy. It's probably going to be pushed to June. What up, Mike from Indiana? Sorry, my finger's in the way, but I'm on my mobile, my cell phone. I'm trying to scan through. Farm Girl says, I mostly deal in vintage books. Yeah, vintage books are great. Definitely a good selling opportunity there. And a lot of them don't have barcodes. So a lot of people are just passing up on them. So again, that's another great opportunity. Homesick for Cali says, I noticed textbooks yesterday. Scout IQ was telling me reject, maybe because it's the end of school. I didn't even think about that yesterday. It was probably rejecting it because the profits weren't there. Or I don't know if you're using the automated triggers or you set your own, but whatever rules you have set up, it's going to follow that in the app. Rod says, I love your content, man. How important is having a blog to record your business and flipping journey? It's not necessary. I love having the YouTube because it gets lonely as a reseller. Plus, like, I need accountability. If it wasn't for you guys and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all that, I probably would have been working some corporate job. But the support system's huge. So if you're the type of person who usually quits things, like my whole entire life, guys, like I just quit everything. I would start something and quit, start something and quit, half-ass it and quit. You know, reselling was the first thing like over 6 years ago that I actually stuck with in YouTube. And I think the big thing was the support system, the accountability, and seeing firsthand, wow, you can actually do this. There's just a certain system and process you have to follow. Oh, we got Harry coming in with a $5 super chat. Appreciate that, Harry Tornado. I always look for the original retail price of the book. If it was less than $25 to start, I don't bother scanning. Be careful with that because there's a lot of books here Like this is 1995. A lot of these books I just found are kind of crappy. They're like kind of higher rank, but I got them dirt cheap, so I just bought them. But a lot of the books I just bought, like this one's $13.95. I think I'll make like $5 or $6 profit on it. Somebody look this up for me. I think it's on for like 14 or 15. I'll make like $4 or $5 profit. I only spend $1 on it. Actually, matter of fact, all these books, $7.95. Again, these are long tail books right here, but they were so cheap I bought them. I don't like to go based on the price. The price of the book can tell you a little bit of a story, like especially if it's like a textbook or something, or like it doesn't look like a textbook, but it's got that little used book sticker where you know, or it's got like a Chegg sticker on it, so you know it's something valuable, and you see it's like $49.95. It can kind of tell you a story. Matter of fact, I found a bunch of music books the other day when I was out with Romer. A lot of them had like $30, $40, $50 prices on it, so kind of told me a little story. I should probably look into these things a little bit more. But if you got a Bluetooth scanner, like you can just fly through them, like a ton of books per hour, like hundreds of books, like probably like 500 to 1,000 books an hour scanning through. So I don't know about that, but definitely it's not bad advice. It's just you're gonna miss opportunities that way. Does Scout IQ allow you to scan items other than books? It does, but it's not gonna give you like an e-score. It's not gonna give you as much data, but yeah, you can scan it. But for other items, I've been just using the Amazon Seller app. Good question, Matt. SLs is just starting. Good luck. Chandra Ford says, is it really worth FBA? I feel FBA. Is it really worth FBA? I feel FBA only benefit. So you're probably asking, is it really worth to sell on Amazon FBA with the high fees? That's probably like the biggest beginner question. And I mentioned it before. Yes, 100%. Why? Because it allows you to free up your time and make just as much money as if you were a merchant. So let me ask you guys a question, okay? I want to ask you guys a question. I want you to type 1 in the comments if you would rather make $3,000 a month and work 40 hours a week, okay? So type 1, would you rather make $3,000 a month and work 40 hours a week? Or 2, would you rather make $3,000 a month and work 20 hours a week? Which one? 1 or 2? It's pretty much this. It's pretty much it. You could make the same amount of money, but you could work less because you're utilizing the Amazon FBA warehouses. Do you guys want to make, even if you made a little bit less money, right? So maybe you only made, I don't know, maybe you made $3,000 a month working 40 hours a week. Or what if you made $2,500 a month working 20 hours a week? Which one would you pick? For me, I'm still picking the second one because it's close. Maybe I'm making a little less money, but I've got a life. I could spend time with my friends and family. I'd go to the gym. I'd go hiking, bike riding, I'd make YouTube videos and engage with you guys and screw around and do whatever I want to do. So that's kind of like the argument for me, right? Plus, I think things sell faster. Does Scout IQ live mode only work if you have a professional seller account? Yes. To use the live mode, you're going to need those MWS Amazon credentials, which is like it's like a permission code or something that you get inside your account. You can reach out to Scout IQ, and I think they might be able to hook you up with one. If you don't have a professional account, you can use the database mode using Scout IQ, which means you'll just have to download the database and work off of somewhat old information. But if you do it every day, you'll be fine. Plus, it's quicker to scan. Homesick for Cali says, time is gold. It is. I gotta get a drink, guys. I've been trying to drink a gallon of water a day, and I notice like my energy level increases like 40%. Like if I don't bring one of these puppies around, like I just don't drink water. Like I'll drink coffee and I'll have a couple glasses, but carrying this sucker around, makes such a huge difference. Some Poland Springs. Let's see. What up, Anthony Pierce? What's happening? Paul Prince says, I'm just starting out, and these gated categories are a bit frustrating. Toys, books, CD-ROMs, beauty. Yeah, I would do some research, and I would buy some products from some wholesale distributors. And there are some websites out there where you don't actually have to have like a wholesale license. Just do some research, and you could buy these products and give Amazon your invoice, and you can get ungated, right? Because if you're new, you're going to be gated in a lot of categories. It's so funny. Somebody left a comment on one of my videos. I think it was like my last video, and they're like, Steve, we know you're ungated in a lot of products. Stop showing off. And I'm just like, come on. Come on. Gosh, you meet some crazy people on YouTube. Does your scanner need internet or Wi-Fi? I have problems with trying to scan at places that don't have internet. So when I'm using Scout IQ, if you're using Amazon Seller app, sorry, I just got a call that came through. If you're using the Amazon Seller app, yes, you're gonna need internet. No internet, you're shit out of luck. With Scout IQ, you've got two options. You've got live mode, which is gonna require internet. It's tapping into the live API of Amazon and you're getting live data. Database mode, which is the second option with Scout IQ, is essentially you're going in and you're downloading Amazon's information. So maybe at 5 o'clock you download the database, you go out to a book sale at 7. You're scanning based on data that came from 5 o'clock's database download. So you don't need internet for that because it's already downloaded. What's that gonna do for you? It's gonna allow you to scan a lot quicker because you're not having to access the internet. And I haven't messed around with this yet on Scout IQ. I do have database mode and live mode. So I'm gonna play around with this because it probably is gonna allow me to scan quicker because I noticed there's like a little second lag when I've been doing live mode. So I do need to kind of get back to you guys with how that works. But yeah, database mode is probably gonna move quicker and you're not gonna need internet. So if you've ever been to a place where there's no internet and you're like, I can't take it, right? Like there's a Savers that's in Connecticut. I think it's in like Bristol, Connecticut. They have no internet. They have none. It's so bad. It's ridiculous. I want to uppercut myself every time I go in there. I wish I would have known. If I had database mode, I'd be good to go. Who'd win a wrestling match between you and Ryan Roots from Rally Roots? I think he would win. Doesn't he have like previous wrestling experience? I don't know. I wouldn't want to mess with Ryan. He seems like a badass. Smiley says, hey, no FBA offers. Do we buy it or leave it? Oh man, that's another thing that I wish I'd known. You guys are asking such great questions. One thing that I wish I would have known before I started selling books are products that don't have FBA offers are such huge opportunities because customers that are sitting at home wanting to buy off Amazon, they don't want to buy off merchants. Merchants, they take forever to ship. They ship the wrong items out. They provide bad customer service. Not everybody, but most. Maybe that's a generalization, but you're gonna have a better chance of getting screwed over by a merchant than FBA, give or take, some situations. So I don't know. I just feel like FBA all day long. Like I wouldn't want to go the merchant route for sure. So yeah, if there's no FBA opportunities or there's no FBA listings, yes, all day long. What if there's 10 merchants at $15 and then the new price is $40? But there's no used FBA offers? I'll probably go somewhere in the middle, maybe $25, $27 FBA. So you can actually go higher, right? So those are some great opportunities where maybe, and this is where listing apps aren't perfect because sometimes it'll show no profit, but it's not being able to see what's exactly going on. So you kind of want to pay attention to those things. Does Scout IQ have different markets other than the States? I live in Canada, so it gets frustrating. I'm not sure about that. I'd send a message to Scout IQ support. No FBA offers, do we buy or to leave it? Buy it, depending on the merchant price and the new price. GKHA says, I found FBA is almost like the job I left, except we get all the benefits of the labor. Still working 60 hours, but it's for me. Yeah, I mean, you got to hustle. Harry Tornado says, say hi to Mama Profits. Yeah, I think she's coming to the book sale with my buddy Andrew and I tomorrow, so that'll be cool. Oh, and I want to let you guys know, I taught my buddy Andrew how to send in his first Amazon FBA shipment. Yesterday was a crazy day. I came home from my softball game, pounded some green juices down, took an ice bath, and taught Andrew how to ship and sell on Amazon FBA. So I actually vlogged that whole video. So it's gonna be like a 45-minute video. It's probably gonna go live Monday. So stay tuned for that. That'll be exciting and weird in the same sense. Question, how long do you sit on an item before removing the listing? It just depends. It really depends. Monthly storage fees aren't too much, but once I start getting hit by long-term storage fees or it's approaching, I'll kind of reevaluate what the overall profit is going to be and the likelihood of it selling. Sometimes I'll get it shipped back to me. Other times I'll get it destroyed. And then sometimes when it gets sent back to me, I'll wait a couple months and send it back in. But I'll usually just destroy it. Jeremy Malu, what's up, Jeremy? Says, when you're scanning books, are you also checking Keepa as well? Or do you do Keepa research back at home? So Yesterday I actually went to Savers and I found a book that was selling for like $247 was the lowest FBA. And the lowest new was $832. The rank was like 5 or 6 million or something like that. Maybe it was like 4 million. So I was like, what do I do here? There wasn't like a lot of information on it. So I actually, on Scout IQ, when you're using it, there's a little button you could tap that'll bring you right to Keepa, the Keepa chart for that product listing. And after looking at the Keepa chart, I noticed that a couple repricers kind of went crazy and everybody followed along. And based on the previous sales history, it's really only selling between $20 and $30. So I actually decided to pass on that item after looking at the data over the last couple of years using Keepa. So a lot of times, what you see isn't the reality. You have to dig a little deeper using Keepa. So that's one thing I love about Scout IQ right there. Can't log on Scout IQ, and what's the support website or phone number? I would just go to Scout IQ's website, and there's probably a tab somewhere. How many books should be in a shipment, or does it go by weight? You got to make sure that you're shipping less than 50 pounds. You can't ship 50 pounds or more anymore. So, I don't know, anywhere between like, depending if it's like heavy textbooks, anywhere from 10 to 15 books upwards to 35 books per box, because you've got to keep it under that 50 pound weight range. So I use like 14 by 14 by 14s or 12 by 12 by 16s or 16 by 15 by 15 dimension boxes. Just depends on what I have and the weight of the boxes, but those are the boxes I typically use. Let's see, do you get kickbacks from Amazon? I don't, unless I'm sending you guys to like an Amazon affiliate link, which I don't really do that often. We ever bring Papa Profits, the CPA, on to talk taxes? Probably not. He actually just retired, and he's been kind of going through some health stuff as well, so I'm not going to throw that on him. But I would like to get my current CPA and maybe even my bookkeeper on a video. That might be cool. How many books should... Oh, we already answered that. Let's see. Do you use Helium-10? I've been using that since Keepa started charging. No, but I'm good friends with the founders of Helium-10, and man, I still remember when I was at, I forgot what conference it was, Helium-10 wasn't even created, and they were thinking about creating it and stuff, and it's been awesome to see their journey, how far they've taken that. I haven't used the software recently. I have in the past. I stand behind those guys, so I know anything they put out is going to be top-notch, high quality, so I would definitely look into it. And that's actually, thanks for reminding me, I've got to look into that. I'm not familiar with the comparable tool that they've created, but I would love to know about it for sure. Had any luck with medical textbooks, medical knowledge books, and medical conference workshop books? I have, but a lot of those medical books go outdated quick, I've noticed. Have any of you guys noticed that as well? Medical textbooks seem to always be like really big and heavy, so the fees are like super expensive, and they're always like, I don't know, they're always outdated. I haven't done very well with them. Hey, what's up, Mark? Great to see you, brother. Hey, brother, dropping some great content. I appreciate you. What do you think about Scout Lee versus Scout IQ? I haven't used Scout Lee. I think Scout Lee is the new name for FBA Scan, right? Isn't that it? I've used FBA Scan in the past. It was a little quirky back then. I don't know. I've heard that it's made a lot of great improvements. So I think Scout Lee or Scout IQ are probably some great options, but I don't have any experience as of late with Scout Lee. What does this mean? In order to list this ASIN, please send us 5 valid transparency codes. I'm not sure. I've never gotten that before. Are you trying to like create a new listing and they're trying to get like, what's that code called? I'm not sure. Are you trying to create new listings? Isaac says, just sent my first FBA shipment, still says it's on reserve. Does that mean it's still processing? Yeah, it takes time. It definitely takes time. And sometimes like the box will hit the warehouse and then they'll get it and they'll distribute all the books to like different warehouses. So it'll take forever to get it checked in. So that's one of the downsides to Amazon FBA. It happens sometimes. Someone asked why a book often has a few overpriced offers. I've always wondered that too. Well, it could be people pricing it high just to ship it in. So like there's a lot of people who like will price all their books at like $1,000 or like a super high price. And then when it checks in, they'll like reprice everything. I know there's a strategy that people use for that, just for like quick listing. Other times I think it's repricers going crazy, and other times I think it's probably people who are analyzing charts based on like seasonality. So maybe books that are selling for 20 now jump up to 200 during textbook season. Not all of them do, but maybe a couple, small percentage. So they might be doing that. There's probably other reasons why that I'm not even aware of. So Paul says Amazon's transparency code system was recently implemented to address the problems with counterfeit products. Oh, interesting. I didn't even know that. Steve, do you think there's still money to be made with books? Yes, 100%. Do you dabble in merchant fulfilled? I don't right now, but I know quite a few of my friends who still do. I just don't like doing it anymore. If a book says slow moving async, does that mean I can't send it? No, you could still send it in, Joan, but that's Amazon's way of saying don't send it in, please. We probably have a lot of copies in the warehouse, and we're not in business to be warehouse distributors. We want to sell products, right? That's what Amazon wants to do. They want to sell products, and they want to make their fees off of it. They don't necessarily want your money for storage fees. Like, they'll take it, but they're in business to sell products, not to store products. So it's kind of like one of those signs where it's like, let's look a little deeper into this. When they first started implementing that program, it was like very random and spontaneous, but now I think they've maybe dialed down on it a little more. So when you see that ASIN notification come up on your app, I would just dig a little deeper and ask yourself, is this really worth it? Kind of weigh out the risk versus the reward. Random Blitz says, if you were to start selling on eBay again right now, would you start with clothing lots or books? Well, I wouldn't sell books on eBay. You can, and there are some opportunities with selling books on eBay, but I would always sell books on Amazon, FBA, like 95% of the time. If I was to start a clothing business on eBay or an Amazon FBA business right now, what would I do? I would start an Amazon FBA business for sure, just because, like, for me, I'm always traveling, I'm on the road. I don't like being cooped up in an office space or a warehouse space all day long. I kind of like to be out and about doing my thing. That's why I'm always making these videos in the car, because I'm literally always on the run. So when you're running an eBay business, a lot of times you're stuck at home listing, photography, shipping, processing, doing all that stuff. With an Amazon business, I could do all that and ship it out and then kind of take off and just get paid on the road. So that's kind of my approach. You know, in terms of, can you make more money on eBay or Amazon? I think they both have great opportunities. It just depends upon your lifestyle. I think more people are probably moving towards Amazon now, which creates a great opportunity for selling on eBay if you're willing to put in the work and really bunker down. Reyes says, have you been to the Strand bookstore in New York City? I haven't. Marvin says, when you first start out, should you build up to using a scanner and the additional apps? Yeah, start with the free Amazon Seller app. Ship through the Amazon Seller Central. You don't have to get Scout IQ. You don't have to spend all this money. I'd actually recommend at first just trying it out and seeing if you like it or not, and then slowly start to build up and start to build some more expenses into your business as well. Mark says, what does Mama Profit think of library sales? She doesn't have a ton of experience with them, Mark. She's very accustomed to doing what she does, which is going to like a couple thrift stores in town. But I'm trying to break her out of that. What's up, Kumar? Kyle says, afternoon, Rakin. Just got back from a garage sale that had 4,000 books, and I think it's time to invest in a scanner. Suggestions on scanners. I just got this scanner I've been talking about the last couple days, the Natamoo. So you can check that out, the Natamoo scanner. It's pretty good. It's like 56 bucks. Really easy to pair up with your phone. What software are you using to create YouTube thumbnails? I don't create my thumbnails, Mike Wilson. I have a virtual assistant in the Philippines. Cost me about $2 to $4 per thumbnail to be created. And he uses Photoshop. Paul says, when are you going to visit Florida again? I'm not sure. I always find myself over there, though. Little Yellow Man says, do you buy used library books that have the withdrawal stamps on the pages? Will those still sell? Yeah, you can still sell those. You just want to put something in the description. Mike says, video editing software. I don't really edit my videos that much. I usually go live. I did edit a video today in iMovie. I've got a MacBook Pro. Jones says, you have motivated me to start working out 3 to 4 days a week. I'm starting to feel so much better. That's awesome. Nothing feels as good as being healthy, right? Nothing feels as good as being healthy. Money doesn't. Even relationships. When you feel good about yourself, everything else improves. Glad to hear that. Yeah, Mark says you just got to put X library. Yeah, absolutely. Do you wrap your books or only new ones? I only wrap them if there's something to protect or there's like... Actually, I had a question for you guys. I've never done this before, and I need your guys' advice. So I've got this book. It's called Carving Waterbirds. But I noticed, I was like, crap. They gave it to me for free, so I didn't want to pay for it, but the pages like kind of fell the pages fell out of it. So I'm curious, is it against terms of service to sell this as acceptable and just put in the description? Like, I would probably wrap this up. I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I've got to do my research, but I would probably wrap it up in one of those little cellophane things and just put it as acceptable and say the pages are falling out. I don't know if it's worth it. The book's selling for like 23 bucks. I got it for free. So type yes or no. Yes, you would put it in as acceptable, or no. I want to know what your thoughts are on that. So that's a good topic for a video. So I'm curious what you guys would do. I know for a fact Mama Prophet would not do that. She would definitely not do that. Yeah, but the binding is falling out. But a really cool book. Super cool. So Lewis says no. Yeah, Mark would pass. Jennifer says, hey, Steve, made it. What's up, Jennifer? Great to see you. Frugally Efficient Homestead says, just use book glue to fix it. Okay, I'll definitely look into that. Yeah, Key Shade says I'd be too paranoid. Mark says I would sell on eBay. All right, good advice, guys. Definitely. Chandra says, one of my book listings was deactivated because Amazon stated it was priced too low. I didn't price it for $1. Yeah, sometimes you got to reach out to Amazon seller support. I had a bunch of pricing issues going on with some of my eFlip books. It was like high pricing error, and it was just so annoying dealing with Amazon. It happens sometimes, though, but yeah, you're going to have to contact support. Lewis says, do you use Reprice It? I used to. My inventory is fairly low right now on Amazon. I haven't been selling much on Amazon the last couple of months, just with the new real estate property and just doing other things in business and kind of just chilling, to be 100% honest. I haven't been working that much the last couple of months on my reselling business, but I have been scaling up lately. So once I probably get back over like 500 listings, I'll get a repricer up. Reprice It is good, but you got to be careful with repricers. Clever and Clover, what's going on, Clever? I tried FBA and got so frustrated because I was either gated or very little profit. I was discouraged and closed the account. Any tips to overcome this? When you first get started, I mean, if you're starting an account now, you're gonna be gated and restricted in a lot of categories. It stinks. My advice, if you're willing to take the extra step, Clever, start buying from some wholesale distributors if you can, and start getting ungated. In terms of low profits, most items out there are going to be low profit. Now you're thinking to yourself, Steve, what the heck are you talking about? Here's the thing. With books, scan 100 books, I'll be lucky to find 5 books that are profitable. Sometimes I find none. Sometimes I find 15. Most products out there at thrift stores, garage sales, library sales suck. They're low profit. So if you're only going out scanning for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and you're not finding anything, that's your fault. Now, if you're scanning for hours and hours and you're not finding anything, or you're looking up eBay items, you're not finding anything, then you might be in a really bad area, but I've traveled the whole country. There's opportunities everywhere. If you're not finding anything, you're probably not A, putting enough time, or B, you don't have enough knowledge. And that's nothing against you. That's not a negative thing, but study the sold listings. Learn about Scout IQ. Learn about how to analyze a book. And I've got tons of free videos on this, so I guess that's my advice for that. Axel, what's going on, my man? Miss you, brother. Hope life is going well for you and your family. Mike says, search offer up. Definitely some opportunities there. Jennifer says, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Try other platforms. Give yourself a deadline. Great advice. Paris says, I just went through books. I pulled and reviewed them. I'll be resending out 9 out of 14. Awesome. That's great, Clever. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Can you sell music when you're a new Amazon seller? Isn't that gated? I used to be ungated in music, and then they gated me. And I've sold like thousands of CDs. So I really should take a step and order some wholesale products and get ungated. But I've been pretty lazy the last couple of months with like my reselling business. So I'll probably step up my game soon and get some ungated stuff going down. Your baseball analogy from the other day is spot on about the few victories making up for the many fails. Ira, I'm glad you mentioned that. It's true. You don't have to be perfect as a reseller, or as an Amazon seller, or as a bookseller, or as an eBay seller. You can pick 10 products and lose money on a couple and be okay. You know, in this industry, there's such a huge arbitrage opportunity between thrift stores and garage sales and Craigslist and library sales and eFlip versus the in market. So you could lose out on 3 or 4 deals, but those 6 deals, those 7 deals that go through can make up 10, 15, 20 times that. Carrie says, which app is best in reselling books? Amazon Seller app, if you're free, is the best. If you're just getting started. After that, Scout IQ. So that's all I got for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe. I got to get running. It's 2 o'clock Eastern now, so I'm actually running a little late. Wish I could hang out more, but hopefully this video is able to add value to you guys and gals. If you found value in this video, please do me a big favor and hit that like button. We got 140 people in the house right now and only 53 likes. Smash that like button, show some love. Got a new video coming Monday where I show you how I taught my friend Andrew how to ship in his first Amazon shipment. It was actually me going through a shipment, but I was just teaching him and he was going through it. It was actually his second time kind of learning, but yeah, that'll be a really good video. Thanks for all